Can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can hear you. Absolutely. Can you hear us?
All right. Yes, I can. Loud and
Awesome.
clear.
It takes a second for the audio to connect sometimes. So
Hotel Wi-Fi.
It takes a second for blondes to figure out technology as well.
No,
so
that's okay. John's also blonde.
Sometimes
just the pubic area, which is fucking weird. But,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
how do you know that?
Yeah, you don't need that explanation.
There's a whole section of the internet dedicated to that. We had a whole corner.
The old bleach merkin.
Yeah. It's not even real.
No, it is now.
So how you doing? I know I'm John, by the way. This is Jason.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, yeah, nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
we've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that you had had some drama going on.
Man, it's been an insane week. The thing about New York City, ever since I moved here, it's like extreme highs and extreme lows. I've never experienced this anywhere in any other city. Nothing like this has ever happened to me anywhere else. But yeah, I basically moved into a room for rent, and I found it on the Facebook marketplace, Gypsy Housing NYC. It's a legit thing, these housing groups, as long as you don't get scammed. Right. And I was worried that it was a scam because there were some weird things about it. I got a little bit of a weird vibe. But then I spoke to two people who live there, and they both were like, no, not a scam, totally legit. They're just a little disorganized and not great at communication. So I took the room, and that was the case. They were disorganized, not great at communication, but it was no big deal. I was like, it's going to get figured out. But about a week into staying there, this was like a month ago. It was still in the 30s, and the heat was not on in the building. So it was 39 degrees outside, and every surface in my room was just really cold to the touch. Like my mattress was cold. I know it's cold when my nose is like frozen, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to sleep in these conditions. Like,
you feel like you're the Dickens story.
Exactly. Somebody help me. And
gypsies curse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was my nipples were hard. It was nuts. But
talk more about that.
Well, they were hard because I made them hard. It wasn't.
Well, yeah. You're excited about the
city.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, I was flicking them because I was bored. It was like at midnight, right? So I'm not going to call somebody or whatever. And so I just go in the bathroom, and there's a portable heater in there that's behind some brooms and mops, not being used. And I'm like, perfect, excellent.
Solution.
I use it. I put it back in the morning. And that day, it was like I just, shit all over the walls and, just smeared shit everywhere. That's how angry the property manager was at me. And she was like, you can't do this. You stole private property. That is illegal. Nobody. Yes. And I said, no, I didn't steal it. I borrowed it because there wasn't any heat, trying to explain to her. And she's like, well, the heat is not working, but it is going to be fixed. And I'm like, great. So you understand. And I've already put it back. And she's like, no, you can't stay here anymore because nobody in the apartment feels comfortable with you anymore.
What?
Yeah, just like some crazy stuff.
I think the next move is to shit on the walls and smear because,
she was like, when your month runs up, you've got to leave. And I was like, well, let me just apologize to whoever needs the apology. Let me explain that I didn't go into anybody's room. This was a community bathroom. And let me just apologize and fix it because I want to stay here. It's working out for me. And I did that. And I offered, to deep clean the bathroom, buy a new shower curtain. I did all these things to show the people in the apartment, like, hey, I'm not some loser off the street who's trying to steal your stuff. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable with me.
Right.
And I do all these things. And it seems to be fine. The situation seems to be fine. And then about a week later, they send me a photo of a square piece of toilet paper that's just like sitting in the toilet. And she's like, you have no right to act this way. And I didn't do that. Like, I didn't leave a fresh, unused square of toilet paper just sitting in the toilet. A clean toilet, by the way.
That is an act of terrorism, if you ask me. That's
you have at this point, you're almost Guantanamo Bay material.
That's the worst offense you can possibly.
You're going to camp.
So hold on. That, first of all, you know, when you can flush something, one thing, you know, that doesn't seem to be the worst thing. But how did she? Where were the steps traced back to you?
Where did Holmes figure out that this mystery led back to your door?
And then what in her past was this a sign of aggression?
Yeah.
Like it was the toilet paper killer that did it again.
How many years in Berkeley do you have to teach to pretty much take in that this is aggression?
This is great.
Right. It was off the chain, the amount of fury that I was causing for these people. And and I was like, well, that's not even me. I didn't even respond. I just thought, you know, it's crazy.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into the forensics for just a second. If it's one square, untorn, that's not even a wipe.
Unused.
No, it's unused.
Unused.
Totally flat in the bowl.
I mean, what if you were if I was gonna look at that and say that's a threat, how do I even go back? Like, what's the pathology of saying like that? Like,
how do we know that wasn't ice in there because it was so fucking cold? It was just a sheet of ice that froze on top of that toilet water.
Yeah,
I think I was set up is what it was. And I felt like, okay, they've got somebody that wants to pay them a little more rent and they're just trying to get rid of me, right? No big deal. That's probably what's going on.
You know, you're pretty and it's a lady. So.
Yeah.
You know what? You're the second person who mentioned that.
Well,
and
I'm a misogynist, so we go there first, but I'm honest about it.
Well, when they rented me the room, they said, because I was like, well, is it me or the other person? And they go, we want you because we want a female. So I figured, okay, they want a female, whatever. And so I didn't think that was a problem. But it's interesting that you say that, because one of her reasons for why I should leave,
your photo didn't match how you look.
She was like, you don't want to be here with us. You look good. You don't want to be around us. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Do you know my personal life? It's in shambles. Like, what does it matter how I look? You know?
You're too attractive not to be together.
Does she have like what's her, like, is she married or is she
I don't know. I don't, and this was the property manager, by the way, and she didn't even live there. But there were like 3 other men who lived there. It was a pretty even household, like 3 men, 3 other women. And so I think one of the women, who, by the way, I think was hotter than me. Like, she had a nicer body. She would walk around with those like tight pants that hugged the ass, and she had a nice ass. You know what I mean? Like something that I appreciate.
Oh, I don't care for that kind of. That's
shut up.
Kick her out of there. Get her out of there.
That's happened to me this week. Shut up.
And she was coupled up with one of the dudes who.
So maybe
you're single.
That's it right there. So one of those guys made a comment.
Or her husband was like,
maybe,
you know, who was like Watto from fucking episode 1.
And maybe he was like this. Maybe he was like, it was some. I don't know. I don't know where they're from. Are they from the United States or is it okay?
No, they were all like, foreigners. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's like some Eastern European analogy. Like, I'd like to put her on a fresh sheet of toilet paper, and or like
that seems more Greek. But yes, go on.
Man.
Whatever. I don't know. I'd like to.
Well, they banished me from that bathroom. There were 2 bathrooms, and this was the nicer bathroom. And they were like, can't use that bathroom anymore. And I was like, oh, well, that's the issue. They just want their own bathroom. No problem. I'll give you the key. I'll use the other bathroom. But I did make a copy of the key before I returned it. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? Crap my pants if I'm waiting? It's ridiculous. No. So I deep cleaned the bathroom I'm in, which is disgusting. It's mold, it's mildew. I make it a nice bathroom. I buy a new shower curtain. And I asked the guy who I'm having these problems with, who's not telling me. He's telling me through the property manager. I'm like, is it okay if I clean the bathroom? Can I throw this shower curtain away as a form of apology to let you know, like, I'm sorry for what I did? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So the next day I cleaned the bathroom and I'm using a bottle of bleach that I found under the kitchen sink. And it was like, he saw me and he's like, that's not yours. You can't use that. You got to buy your own. And I'm like, no problem. I apologize. When I responded to the ad, it was one of those like, we're fully furnished. We provide all of the basic common shared things, dishes, everything. You don't have to bring anything. So I assumed that cleaning products were part of that. They were not. And I apologized. Finished cleaning the bathroom. Okay. So another week goes by, right? And this is the most recent thing that led to me leaving. Was I'm in my room sleeping. I've got the door locked. I hear a knock on my door, and then the knob immediately turns for the person to try to get in the room, but it's locked. But that's not a good sign, right?
No.
You're like, oh,
you do realize you foiled your own murder and the disposal of the body, because not only did you stop him by locking the room, but you used this fucking bleach to clean up your corpse. You have fucked this guy up so bad. You know what?
Yeah.
It was time for you to leave.
It
wasn't working.
Bad.
Your murder was so fucking well planned.
It was.
It was like a lot of hard work. Jeez.
Yeah.
It was like they say, it's like a piece of clean toilet paper on the toilet.
Dude, I thought you were gonna go like straight up Kung Fu Master voice for a second.
I had no. It was like, I'm not gonna do that.
It's about to catch a fly and some chopsticks right now.
Catch a fly with a flat toilet paper on the commode surface.
You can't do that anymore.
I can and I will.
Okay.
Well, the fact that the knob turns, you're like, oh, they would have totally walked right in my room if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Who?
So
and you clearly had a sock on it, so.
who was it?
That was the property manager. She was there, and and so I go, oh, I'm sleeping because I was, and so she goes away. 7 minutes later, she comes back, knocks again, and then proceeds to try to turn the knob again. But now she's like doing this to the door, trying to actually get in the room. So I go, hey. And she goes, we need access to this room. You don't own the building.
Whoa.
Which it doesn't make any sense, right?
No,
it's illogical. And I go, well, you need to give me a notice. And she goes, no, you're doing so many illegal things. You're doing so many illegal things here, and you can't. And if you don't open the door, I'm going to call the police.
Holy shit.
I go.
She's writing on your review. It was like, so terrible to try to murder. Just the worst.
Impossible to murder.
This woman will live forever.
Like female John Wick.
Yeah,
beats us at every turn.
They clearly have a problem with me. And I guess since you're the second person to say it, I'm too hot, I guess is what it is. I'm just too hot to live with.
Go with too hot and invincible.
Yeah, and invincible. You're
like a hot Inspector Clouseau, and that's a very old reference right there. But
I did hear that there's some, if you want to stick with the Eastern Europeans, I hear some Russian oligarchs have some property opening up.
Not right now.
Oh, it's frozen.
Pretty well frozen, like the surface of her old room.
Yeah. Also, probably many dead bodies.
Yeah, I know. Same diff where she was.
Yeah.
It was just bad vibes going on in this place. And I knew, I was like, well, I want to stay here. It was a great location. I had just gotten a gym membership up the street, totally affordable. I was like, this is great. And I knew like something's going on. So I got to keep looking for rooms. But I had just paid my rent, by the way. I paid a full month's rent, which was $13.50. And this door situation happened 2 days after. So because she was like, I'm going to call the police, I said, call the police, because that makes no sense. You know, what are you going to do? So then she gets furious, and she goes, and I hear her tell the guy, change the password, change the passcode. If she wants to play these games, we'll play these games. Change it right now. And I'm assuming she's talking about the internet, because we don't have passcodes for anything else. So I get dressed and I go out, And I go, what's the emergency? And she goes, we need access to this room tomorrow between noon and 2. We have mice and cockroach. And I go, okay, why are you trying to get in my room today? And she goes, I wasn't. And I go, yes, you clearly were. You clearly were trying to get in the room. And she goes, no, I knocked. And I go, so you're denying that you tried to get in the room? And she goes, yeah. And I go, you're a liar. And then she goes, well, you're just not going to be able to stay here because you're doing too many illegal things. And I'm like, are you talking about this heater situation? Because that's been taken care of. And she goes, no, every week I have a complaint. Ever since you showed up, we have so many problems. We've never had problems like this. I don't know who you are. I don't know who raised you. I don't like all these personal jabs now.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, you're too hot, and she apparently you're accidentally covering up peepholes they had drilled in the wall.
Yeah,
they can't sell your showers on the internet. Like, you're just beating them at every turn, and then you fuck up the murder.
And plus, there's that heater thing, which I don't understand.
That was egregious. You should not have done.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
She was like,
nobody's using the heater, but still.
There's 39 degrees outside. There's no excuse for me to use this heater that is just in a corner of a common space. But then she goes, well, we have no internet for the next month. And she's telling me this right after I heard her say,
cancel the pass.
Yeah. And I go, what do you mean? It was working last night. And she goes, we got an email from the internet company, and there's illegal copywriting going on. And they have your IP address. It traces back to your computer. They know how many laptops are in the apartment, and it's yours. And you know, nobody in the building has internet, in the apartment has internet. And she was French, so she wasn't using all the correct phrases, but she told me that I had put everybody's lives in jeopardy. Yeah. And so I was like, do you have this email? Can I see what you're talking about? And she goes, no, it went to the manager, but he's gonna, and this is the first time I'm finding out there's another person who's running things. Like, oh, you're not the top of the chain. Okay. And she goes, we've never, you need to call the company and ask them what's going on. And I said, I can't that's not how it works. I don't have the account number. It's not in my name. And she's like, well, no, you just give them the address. And I go, that's not how that works. And I don't really know what's going on. You can't tell me what's going on. So I'm not going to do that. And she was like, okay, well, there's no internet. If you want to use the internet, you're going to have to go to the Starbucks. And the manager's going to call you tomorrow. And you know what? Nobody likes that you're here. Nobody likes that you're here. Everyone's uncomfortable with you. And I go, do you want me to leave? And she goes, that's up to you. If you want to leave, you've already paid your rent. If you want to leave, you can go. But you know, you're just doing too many illegal things. So the fact that she keeps telling me that I'm doing illegal things, and she's threatened to call the police on me, and she's trying to get in my room, both when she knows and doesn't know if I'm in there, I don't feel comfortable anymore.
No.
So yeah. Unfortunately, that is so. A couple of hours go by, she leaves, and I decide, I'm weighing my options. I go, should I just fucking say goodbye to this $1,350 with another $400 deposit? So $1,750.
Clearly trying to get someone in there as fast as possible so she can get double rent that month.
Clearly. Yeah.
I mean, including your murder. Let's not forget the murder.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And so I do decide to leave. I go, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want these people coming in my room when I'm not here. I got a lot of recording equipment and all, you know. So.
Oh yeah, that would all be gone.
Yeah. So I start packing my shit like quietly. I'm not telling anybody I'm leaving. I just plan on leaving. And I make 2 trips out to my car. She's there on the sidewalk. And when I turn to go back into the building, she follows me. And I'm 3 steps up to the building. There's the 3 steps and then the front door of the building. And she's down on the sidewalk. And she goes, hey, did you call the internet company? And I said, no, I haven't. And she goes, why not? And I go, well, like I said, and she's like, well, you need to call. So I just go, okay, I will, because there's no conversation happening. There's no back and forth with this person. I turn in, I go into the building. Then I hear her say behind me, oh, you're not going to hold the door open for me? So at this point, she's just bullying.
Yeah. She's trying everything she can to.
You should have kicked
get
her
you.
right in the face. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
There's your internet.
There's your fucking internet.
Yeah, it's broadband. I hope you like it.
These Goodfellas. There's your fucking internet. I don't do
wish,
that no more.
I wish you had told her something that was complete. Since she's French and doesn't know what the fuck the law is anyway, because they're godless people. You'd be like, ma'am, I called them and they said that this was a Dishwalla issue. And they're gonna have to run an Eve 6 diagnostic.
They're gonna have to
entire
count
building. They're gonna have the walls out. They gotta put new wire.
They have to count all the blue cars.
Yeah, dude, all the blue cars. This is gonna be terrible. The last thing I know is that they're talking about even notifying the snow patrol.
Yeah, and they found a Papa Roach in there.
Yeah. The exterminators are coming. This is just a bunch of shitty bands. Like, just throw that out there and just watch it. Really, Sacre-bleu. And she goes back.
I mean, that would have made it more fun a little bit, but also she was in this kind of red zone that I was like, and by the way, this was my second in-person interaction with this person. So I don't know her. I don't know what her deal is, what she's capable of. So I'm just playing it safe, but I'm also kind of letting her know, like, you're being ridiculous with my facial expressions and my body language. Because when she goes, oh, you're not going to hold the door open for me? I'm like, I didn't know you were trying to get in the building. I mean, clearly you're down on the sidewalk, and she goes, yeah, well, I know who you are. I know what kind of person you are. And when she said that, I was just staring. Yeah, I was like staring at her, confused. And then I just go like that and turn around and keep walking. Now she starts yelling at me.
Wow.
And I immediately turn on my video camera. I'm not holding it up at her. I just turn it on because I'm like, might be a thing that I have to deal
World
with.
star.
Yeah. Yeah. I might go viral. This might be the thing that makes my career happen.
You catch her just putting the N-word on your door with a pocket knife.
Man, I only have 1 month of Brazilian jiu-jitsu training under my belt.
That's
so
that's all you need.
All I really know how to do properly is choke somebody out, right?
That's all you need.
Well, here's what Sid and Ensley, right? So you
had a fantastic episode with him, by the way.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah. Still laughing about the
you just call it ace up
the polygraph.
Choke anybody out.
Yeah.
So clearly you guys know that I've seen some psychos in my life.
Right.
But,
Well, you're talking to us, so
yeah.
So, did you I don't know, maybe you're getting to this and I want to jump in, but this email that they supposedly have.
She kept telling me it went to the manager. So she doesn't have it on her, but it went to the manager and he's going to call me tomorrow to discuss. And that's where that conversation left off, which is why when she was like, did you call yet? I'm thinking like that wasn't the result of the end result of that conversation. So when she starts following me up the stairs and her voice is now at a louder volume, and it's like she's just angry. So she's not saying anything that means anything. She's just yelling, and I recognize this energy, and I'm like, all right, this is going on. And I get to the apartment door. She's behind me. And I turn around because now I'm holding the door open for her. I don't want to let the door close in on her as a way to show like, look, that's not going on here. But you are clearly trying to come in the apartment. So I'm holding the door open.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
At this point, you are such a good person. I mean, like you have literally done almost the opposite of anything I would have done in this situation.
Right.
I would become such an antagonist. It's horrible. But I'm also not very rapeable, so I guess that has something to do with it.
Yeah, men, I don't think need to think about these things as much. And even though she was a female,
sure, yeah, you never know.
She always had that half bottle of wine. She's French, so
you never know if she's got a weapon on her. I mean, clearly, if she's behaving this way, you can't put anything past a person
No,
who's
she has a dagger with a rose on it somewhere.
right.
100%.
And I have no weapons on me. My
Except
knife
these
is
two at the end of your wrists.
yeah.
Gets you,
Now
baby.
I carry a knife around New York City, but I don't know how to use it. I mean, and I'm not trying to. I guess I'm putting that information out there, but like,
just pointing into the person.
I don't. I've heard somebody was like, slash, don't stab, because when you stab, you're actually getting closer to the person.
That's
but if you
true.
slash,
When you
it's
stab
keeping a distance.
Also, when you stab somebody, you also cut your own hand.
Well, the blood
Because
gets
you're-
slippery and you slide down the blade. You're
He
better
didn't
off
even-
just taking car keys and put them in between your fingers and going Wolverine style.
Yeah.
You really won't cut yourself that way.
I just like to do that for fun anyway.
Like go for the eyes, go for the nose.
Yeah. I don't, I mean, in the thought of stabbing someone, and someone told me once, well, if you're in a situation, you will definitely not worry about stabbing someone. You'll be able to do it. But I can't. I just,
Some people
gross.
can, some people can't.
The thought is gross to me. I might just let myself die instead of stabbing. It just the thought of the blade, like what that would feel like. I don't know what that would feel like to actually put a blade
Feels
in.
great.
Yeah, well, every time he goes to the grocery store in the fucking meat aisle, he practices. So.
Sometimes it's better than a person. You don't have to get by.
And she's yelling at me in the doorway now, and I go, "Are you coming in?" And she goes, "Yeah, I can come in. I'm the manager." And I go, "Okay, well, I just didn't want to, I wanted to hold the door open for you." So she takes her hand, slams it against the door, and then slams the door open against the wall, making a big loud sound. And she's like trying to do things to intimidate. She's closing in on me with her space, because I turned around to start walking back to my room, but she was right behind me to where it felt like she might like reach out. So I turn around and I go, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" And she just keeps yelling. She's not addressing what I said. And I go, what are you doing? Keeps yelling. And I go, we already spoke about this. And she goes, no, there is no speaking. So I go back to my room, and now I'm in a situation where I'm cornered, because there are 3 doors behind me. It's a hallway. She's blocking the exit to the apartment. And I don't want to go in my room, because I'm like, if I go in my room, is she going to follow me in there? She's not going to let me shut the door. If I do shut the door and lock it, is she going to beat the door down? She's already tried to get in my room earlier today. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I just stand at my door and allow her to proceed to say a bunch of things to me that make no sense, including, "You are a liar. You are a scammer. A scammer. You are a scammer."
Yes,
love
the accent is better. Keep doing that. I like it.
I mean, we should just fucking return the Statue of Liberty. That gift was.
Fuck that.
Look,
You copper-plated whore, get out of our country.
She loved calling me a scammer.
Scammer.
And told me she was going to find out everything about me since the day I was born, and that I fucked with the wrong people. You fucked with the wrong people. This is New York. You don't fuck with New York people. You don't. Where are you from? It's not like where you're from. Are you a citizen? Are you a citizen? And I'm not like responding. I'm just standing there looking at her and taking deep breaths and exhaling out this energy that's coming at me.
You're such a good person.
Wow.
And
so she thinks you're what? So I mean, what is she? I can't even think what she.
At any point, did you look at her and go, "Do you want that pot? Do you want to have that pot?
The pot.
Did you used to fuck Bruce Willis?"
She's what's her name from Pulp?
Yeah, the fucking weird looking chick. I can't remember. Anyway,
yeah.
I think that she was clearly something was up, and she didn't like me, and she was making that clear, because nothing that she was saying was logical. It was all of it was very emotional, but not justified emotions.
it's one-sided personal, and it's mental illness.
I don't know, dude. I want to see this email.
And you keep fucking up the murder.
I hope that the email is like a LinkedIn thing, like.
Oh, I want to see that too.
One of those shitty things that everybody gets.
I told a friend of mine about this, as like in the 2 hours I was deciding to leave, and they were like, An IP address goes to the router. They don't know what if this is a real thing.
They just
don't
know what houses or
Yeah, they know the
building.
posting from the internet.
Yeah, the router,
the internet
yeah.
customer. An IP address is something that's based on the customer of the internet service.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he also, my friend was like, and there's a lot of fake emails. Like this is probably a fake email that they received. And if it even was real.
Mm-hmm.
But what could possibly,
and if you have a VPN, you can also put a fake IP address up too. So I mean, I don't want to make it crazy about it, but, yeah.
But what could possibly come through an email to make them think that national security was at risk and that you were some sort of it was
exactly
an odd situation, like, or
I
whatever.
know who you are, Putin's daughter.
Yeah,
I know who you are hiding here.
You were bombing Ukraine.
You will not stop the great United States.
Blue and yellow.
when Trump gets back in office.
That's not a great French accent.
I don't know, man.
Just like, you know.
As she said, I put everyone's lives in jeopardy, you know, with this behavior. But so basically now this goes on for 8 minutes because I have the recording, my video's running. And in these 8 minutes, she's saying these things. I'm going to learn. I'm going to find out everything about you. I'm going to expose you. Your laptop is under investigation. I have connections to the FBI.
Wow.
Hey, the incel guy who you're talking about, it wasn't Hunter Biden, was it? Because I think I can pull this up right now. I can figure this out for you while we're sitting.
Oh, God.
You know what? Hilarious. I would like to see his laptop, man.
I kind of want to see what's going on now.
I've seen some of his photograph. Or
this could be one.
He's a photogenic man.
These people have by now probably photoshopped my face into Hunter Biden photos with these chicks that he's like having sex with and doing crack with.
Yeah, but if they're that bad, they're gonna Photoshop you on his face. We know who you are, son of Joe Biden. We know you had secret big penis.
She also starts slamming the walls with her hands, and she slammed this mirror on the wall and it fell.
Oh, 7 years bad luck, bitch.
Yo, boom.
She's done for.
She gypsy cursed herself.
Yeah.
I start switching up my attack. I'm like exhaling and she sees me and she goes, "Oh, you're tired now, huh?" And I go, "No, I need to go to a show." And you know, she goes, "Go to a show? You're gonna go to a show right now?" Yeah, like she thought
I need Broadway.
Yeah, she thought
I'm gonna go see Cats. God damn it!
Andrew Lloyd Webber my fucking ass right out of here.
I want to Jean Valjean your ass in a minute.
Yeah, she was so in the red zone that she didn't notice that I had purchased tickets. You know, but I go, "No, it's for work," and she goes, "I don't understand your work. What are you? You're an actress, right?" And I go, "No, I'm not an actress." And she goes, "So you're just going to a show. So you don't care about anybody you live with. You just don't care." And I go, so I changed my tactic. I'm going to try to diffuse the situation. So I just start apologizing. I just go, "You know what? I am so sorry." And then she goes, "Why you didn't tell me this earlier? Why you play these games like you don't know? Like, I don't know what I don't know." And she's like mocking me. Like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "You're right. But I'm very sorry that you're this upset. You know," and she goes, "Yeah, you fucked with the wrong people. You know that, right?" And I go, "Yeah, I know that." And she goes, "You go to your show and you enjoy your show, but you think about what you did." And I go, "I definitely will. I definitely will." And she goes, "Yeah, because I take my job very seriously." And I go, "I 100% agree with you. 100%. It's working." She backs up, she goes into the kitchen, and then she goes, "Yeah, you go to your show, but I'm going to wait." And I don't know what she means by that, but based on everything that's happened, I get the clear. I leave the apartment and I just immediately call the cops.
Good call.
Wow.
She's definitely going to stab someone. Like, or just keep Googling it. It will pop up. It's 100% going to happen.
Do you have all your do you have your stuff when she's saying this? Like,
no, I'm like in between trips to my car, like putting my stuff in the car.
I will fucking send John up there right now to go get anything you left behind.
Yeah, I'll break it anywhere.
Well, that's why I
called that fucking heater too.
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah,
God,
you
that
better
would've
have
been
taken that heater
amazing.
and the bleach.
Well, the cops do come because I'm like, hey, I just need somebody here to
Yeah.
while I get the rest of my stuff. And they come, and once I prove that I live there, they're like, cool, let's do it. And we walk in, and she's like, starts telling them that I'm an actress and that this is all a game and that I'm escaping. And when someone says
When you
that,
say escape,
yes.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right, because you're like, wait, what were your plans for me? What?
If she was black, you would not let her go.
Like every woman I've been in a relationship said that, but that's different. It was metaphorical. It was,
Well, you also had a basement with a lock on.
boy, I escaped that one, and I was like, you got out of the hole. Good for you.
You are escaping.
You are escaping.
Yeah. And the cop, and then she tells the cop that I did illegal things and that I stole private property. And he's like, what did she steal? And she points to the mirror on the wall that she hung back up. And she goes, she stole this mirror.
It's still there.
And she stole private property. She's doing illegal things. And the cops are like, all right, well, she just wants to get her stuff. So let's just do that. And it's over. It's over now. She's leaving. And she's like, yeah, she could get her stuff, and wanted me to give the keys back, which legally I don't have to because I paid the rent. But I didn't want to be framed for anything. So I did give the keys back. And the cop had to physically stand between us because every time I tried to go in the room to get something, she tried to close in space on me and was going like, yeah, you love this. You love it. And the cop was like, you're provoking right now. So just why don't you just back up? And I love that the police, when I got out of there, they were like, don't contact her. Do not try to contact her. And I didn't so now I'm like sitting in my car with all my stuff, like, all right, well, now what do I do? Like, I'm out of there, but what now? So I stayed with a friend for 2 nights, and the third night I'm like, maybe I should just like leave town and regroup, and I guess, or should I stay in town and try to find a new room? I'm literally on the way out of the city to driving. I'm a mess. I don't feel great. And I get a text from Doug Stanhope, and it says, are you in town?
Nice.
And I was like, son of a bitch. And I go, I'm in New York City. And he goes, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm playing Sony Hall tonight and tomorrow.
Doug Stanhope, is he another actor? Is this an actor?
Clearly a well-known actor.
He is a scammer.
He's a scammer.
The tiny scammer
A little bit.
who wears all the good clothes.
That's awesome.
I was like, I didn't know what he was saying to me, so I was like, that's great, man. Like, is it sold out? Like, if it's not, I'll buy a ticket, because I've been trying to meet Stanhope, not aggressively, but I've been trying to meet him for about a year, and he knows this. And so I was like, well, I guess this is my opportunity to meet him, so I'm not gonna say no, even though I'm in this situation. It's 4:30 that he's calling, texting me, and he's like, show's at 8. I'm going to be there at 6. I'm going to put your name at the door. We'll get you in. Come early. Let me know when you're here. And I'm like, I got an hour and a half to get my shit together. I'm disgusting. I haven't showered. I haven't eaten. So I just was like, fuck it. And I went to Times Square, and I put down like $200 on the Hilton, put my car in the garage. This is another 60 overnight.
Jesus.
Showered, got, dressed up, grabbed a Kind bar on the way to the theater, and I'm at the theater, and they let me in, and I go down to the green room, and there's Doug Stanhope. I'm like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, it's nice to meet you. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, all the shit that just happened to me, I'm kind of like numb. It's like there's a film over my experience, where I'm just like, huh. And he goes, help yourself to anything you want. I know you're going to be polite, but go ahead. And I go, yes, I am going to be polite. I'm a guest. And he goes, no, you're working. You're going to open. And I'm like,
nice.
Wow.
And I'm like, Okay.
Yeah, that's like
Dude, that is a perfect story.
It's like a monumental shift from one end to the other.
Out of nowhere, disheveled Jesus comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, guess
He's
what?
like, yeah, he's like, you're gonna go up, and then you're gonna bring Morgan Murphy up, and then
Nice.
and I'm like, so at that point now I'm nervous because I mean I've been doing comedy for a long time, but at the same time it's like, wow, I've never had this kind of experience. I'm about to open the show for a legend.
Yeah.
There's another heavy hitter on that show who's a legend in her own right.
Yeah, Morgan's great too. We actually saw them like a few years ago in this really small club. They were doing that like
the tiny tour
or whatever it was called, like yeah, it was great, man. But
you fit right in with him too. I mean, it's such a good match.
Well, I felt like I kind of blew it because I was nervous. Like when he told me that, I was nervous, and I told him, I go, because at that point I'm sitting in the green room, I'm just sitting in this chair, he's across from me, and he's like in front of, it's a theater, and we're in Times Square, it's 500 seats, it's a really fucking nice place, and I'm just sitting there looking at him going, man, I can't, like, this is going on right now and I'm homeless. Like, this is crazy. So I was nervous, and I told him, I was like, hey man, I know I'm being real quiet and stuff, but I'm very excited, and I was quiet and I was in my head, and I am naturally socially awkward as well. So I think he knew something was up with me, and he was still very cool and sweet and supportive. And when I went backstage to go start the show, I was back there getting myself pumped up. It's like, all right, let me form my set in my head, get pumped up. And then he comes back like to watch, and he's got this big smile on his face, and I just felt like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is really cool.
Great.
Did you look at him and say, I don't know if you know this, but I'm The Rock right now. Like, this is me happening, Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
I'm fucking happening, Doug Stanhope.
Like I wanted to be in be coming from a better situation where my life is a little more stable, and I wanted to talk to him a little more, and I didn't do that. So I kind of just blew it and was quiet. And I told him after, I was like, hey man, I know a lot of people would love to be in my position right now, so I'm very appreciative. Like, it's very cool, really cool to meet you. And then like said our goodbyes, and he gave me some money for opening, and then I was like, fuck, like, because it'd be cool to be friends with Stanhope, right?
Yeah.
But then 2 days later, he texted me, and he was like, hey, it's great to meet you. And, so that's encouraging.
For sure.
That he probably witnessed me going through something, or intuitively knew, but still was like, hey, still open line of communication here. So, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
There's a thing with like Doug Stanhope, I imagine, like he's in almost a class of himself where he, like, you see Doug Stanhope and you're like, that's Doug Stanhope. It's almost like seeing like Mickey Mouse, or like like these icons that you've seen, and they're like there interacting
Mickey
with you.
Can't drink that much
or whatever. So like, I'm sure he gets that where people kind of withdraw a little bit.
Yeah, he's a living legend.
Yeah, he's a legend, but like he's almost a character in a way too. But I don't know. I'm sure he gets that. Yeah. So he's probably very understanding of that, and
he has a very, very keen eye.
Yeah,
and it's no accident that you were the person he reached out to. It's no accident he reached back out to you. So just me off the top of my head, I'd keep that line open and hot if I were you, because I've seen your work. He's seen your work. You're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you very much.
Really good.
Wow. Thank you.
One thing I fucking love about you is you talk like a fucking human being. Like you did not come in here with a press on.
Don't worry, we'll
personality.
We'll bleep out his swearing.
Yeah, like you talk like a human. I was like, oh God, she's gonna be fun to talk to, because she's sitting here swapping shit, stories. It's
I appreciate that very much. And it was a crazy weekend, because that was a Thursday, and then Friday I literally, when I walked back to the Hilton, I cried, because I was like, that just happened and I'm in this situation and I feel like it was such a great thing and I felt like I did enjoy it. I was very grateful, but at the same time, I wasn't as in the moment as I wanted to be. And I also still like needed to rent a room and figure it out. And the next day I left and I was in the same situation where I was like, what should I leave town? What should I do? And it's 4:30 and I get a call from this agent who's like, hey, you're available, right? You got a car? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, all right, well, we need somebody to open for Bobby Collins over in New Jersey. And I'm like, Bobby Collins.
Another legend there. Yeah.
I saw that on your Twitter the other day. So it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And it's same deal where I'm like, all right, I got an hour and a half to shower and eat, get ready, pull myself together. And I mean, I haven't had the stuff. You have things happen to you when you do comedy. I don't know. You guys, are you stand-up comedians?
No, thank God for everybody.
Multiple felonies, not
Yeah.
stand-up comedians.
I stole a heater one time. You will not believe what
From
happened.
This fucking dumb French broad.
Yeah, I blamed it on this other lady.
She was very sweet.
It was good times. No, we're not.
You're probably familiar enough, though.
Oh yeah, we have several friends that are.
Oh yeah, many friends who are comics. And
it's an insane life. It's just there's so many twists and turns. It's disgusting. It's heartbreaking. It's infuriating, and at the same time, it's just magical and beautiful, and feels like it's so right. And I haven't had that experience squeezed into such a short amount of time like that, except for when I've been living in New York. So
New York, keep heading out of town. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
just drive out.
Point it towards the turnpike every weekend and see what happens.
Yeah.
I literally, it happened again. I was like, I was like, maybe I'll go out of town. And then I get a call that's like, hey, we need somebody at Governor's this weekend out on Long Island. So I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why am I getting booked so much more when I don't have?
There's also like something to be said. Well, before I get that, I was being a comedian too as a single person sport. Like you, it's all on you. Whether you have a team behind you or whatever, you're the one that is out front. You're the one that takes the falls.
You have the ball all the time.
Right. So there's really not anything else like that. Like even being an actor and everything, there's an ensemble. You're dealing with other people and et cetera, et cetera. But comedian is such a unique lifestyle. And you go all over the place. The crowds are different everywhere, right? So like, you can talk about one thing regionally in New York, doesn't fly in Montana or wherever you're going. But there's also, I was gonna say, there's also
I would love to see a subway bit in Montana. Sorry, I just want to see that right now. Have you seen the rats on the subway? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just stepped in cow shit to get in here.
Yeah. I think like you're on the Gas Digital shows and stuff too. Like those audiences are
us
powerful in the fact that they're very loyal. I guess they start seeing you on there and they like, they bring you in and I don't know. That's also a very big thing that you've been doing as well, I think.
And doing it great, by the way. I mean, you're in the room, you're hitting heavy with everybody. I mean, you're fucking power puncher, which is fucking awesome. No, I mean,
thank you.
You're great.
Yeah. I see, my problem was that I've been on the road for 16 years. And when I was coming up, the mentality, everyone above me said, don't put yourself online. Don't do that. People won't buy a ticket if they can see it for free and they'll steal your stuff. And I held on to that mentality for, through the boom of the internet. And then of course, COVID rocket launched that even more. And I never got a podcast because I didn't believe in podcasts. I was like, that's like radio and nobody listens to radio anymore.
Yeah, we still don't believe in it. So it's fine.
But it's like totally essential now. And, putting content online consistently is essential. And I'm not good at it because my forte is stand up alone, but I got to get good at it. So I'm not going into these podcast situations with a bunch of confidence, being funny on the fly, but I think that's just a comfort thing. Like,
I also think if you're yourself and you're like funny, just
that's all you have to person. Be. You're not necessarily a writer
And
he's performing material. You're a funny person.
I know there's sometimes where
Oh,
like
wow.
there's 3 people, 4 people, whatever, that know each other so well, and they're always around each other, and you're the new person. But I think they've all been in those situations too, so they're not gonna hang you out to dry. I don't think.
Yeah, the good ones know. And there are people who are bad hosts who don't listen, and they may step over what's going on. They kind of snuff out the magic.
Yeah.
Instead of setting up for the magic to happen. And I'm no one to talk because I'm not a fucking podcast host. But I do
Give
notice
it 3
that.
months. You will have a show in 3 months. It's going to happen.
I think
I'll guarantee it.
I think it changed when you're talking about the internet. I agree with you. Like, there was a whole long period of time where people were giving away things for free, but then you started seeing like TikTok, well, even before TikTok, like Instagram, people were taking these small clips, and like those things started building audiences. Like Andrew Schultz was very good about that. Like, he was really smart about putting his special out in clips, and then
Yes,
because the people, it was a lot easier to watch a 3-minute clip than a whole special for people.
People are fucking short attention span morons.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
I'm guilty.
But that's for sure. So yeah, I think that changed a lot of things. Where it is,
and your product is you. The good thing about you is you're going to keep being you. You're going to keep doing more stuff. You're going to keep. It's a renewable resource.
yeah.
I mean, just the way you live your life. We don't ruin bits for people, but your shower bit I watched earlier, I laughed my ass off about that. And it was just something that you did in passing, but it was funny as shit. And you have a well of experience, and you're just going to keep getting more of them, because this is really just the beginning for you.
Oh my God. It's interesting that you say that. That's the whole reason why I wanted to meet Stanhope, because I wasn't a Stanhope. I wasn't even a fan, but I was headlining this club because clubs started to headline me, but they would tell me like, you're great, you're a headliner, but you don't sell tickets. So I hit the ceiling, and that's why I moved to New York. But also during this headline week, I started noticing like, oh, I can't totally sustain yet for 45 at a solid, thing. I'm kind of just still trying to get through it, instead of, being in this position where people are leaving feeling like, wow, and I want to get there. And my subconscious kept making me think about Stanhope that weekend. And I was like, I don't care. What are you talking about, brain? And then I was like, fine. Eventually I just like, I'll throw on an interview. I don't want to watch the stand up, but I threw on an interview. And within like 2 minutes, I was like, I got to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I got to hang out with him. And I think my brain subconsciously was trying to tell me like, there's something about him, obviously, that touches a lot of people. What is it about him? That's what I want to learn. I want to learn, like, what does he have? And it's probably like, I need to get more personal with my material, more raw, deeper, more honest. And I think that's what people love about him. That's
for sure.
Yeah, so it wasn't like I wanted to show up and meet him and pick his brain like a nerd. I just wanted to like be around him and kind of see, like, absorb something. You know?
And sometimes just being in the presence of someone who is so good at what they do, is such a craftsman. You're not going to emulate them in that you're doing what they do, but you're going to have some of that rub off, that you're going to be able to do you the way he does it. And it's as authentic as it gets.
I mean, that the bit about his mom and her last days, and
he ripped that off from Carlin.
Yeah. no. But that's like some of the darkest, like, if you were to tell that story straight up, it's one of the darkest stories ever, but he makes it so funny, and
the heart he puts in stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. He's still like, it's like he's telling it and you're laughing, but you're on the verge of tears at the same time. And that's like the greatest right there. That's where you can get all that and all those emotions in
the way you just related the story about your living situation.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
As an actress, you should take that one person show.
We were right there with you.
Yeah.
You held us the entire time. It was fun. It was fucking heartbreaking. It was scary.
And none of it was embellished, by the way.
No.
Like all that really happened.
No, John has a polygraph license. He knows that you're
That's right.
yeah.
I could tell.
That also, none of that is embellished either, man.
No.
Yeah.
No,
that was a perfect a reaction to that. And Sid reacted exactly like I thought he would. So yeah.
Sid.
Yeah. That was a great episode. And just all the stuff we've seen you on, fantastic.
Have you read the book Running the Light, Sam Talent wrote?
No, I haven't yet, but I've heard great things.
Definitely read that
fucking
book.
Excellent.
It's about an older road comic, basically. Like every comedian says they know this guy, but it's so good. And I think it's about like that person who just kept on the road instead of trying, or never got that other break. But yeah, I definitely recommend that. He's and I've said this many times, it's not just a good book that a comedian wrote. It's like it's a great book. So
I want to read it for sure. And that's the fear of every comedian too, just like, and I think that every day, because I'm still young, but I'm not that young. But but when you do see people like maybe 10 years in getting a break and you're like, oh, I'm 16 in and it hasn't happened yet, it might not happen, maybe I don't.
Bernie Mac was several, like what?
Yeah,
25 years in.
Yeah, but he also wasn't scared of the motherfucker.
That's true.
He ain't afraid of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, he would beat your head to the white meat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. That needs to be one of your bits.
Yeah,
I really think you need to do early morning black radio. Get on like the jam stations.
That would be
and just come in there and do Bernie Mac bits.
No, just do it as yourself. No, I think you tell the story that you told us, but then you're like, when she hit the mirror, I almost beat her head to the white meat.
Yeah.
Just deadpan it.
It's only every once in a while, it's like, how these white bitches be.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
No, that I can relate to, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you're from Pittsburgh originally, right?
Yes.
And you've been in New York how long? And you just moved to New York?
It's been like a year. I went to Florida for the winter, but I'm back now. So I'd say about a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't I think just keep heading out of town and you're
yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing this weekend? I'm going to Pomona.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost like when you feel like you should quit too, that's when stuff happens. It takes the pressure off when you're like, you know what, I just don't even care about this anymore. Isn't that interesting how that happens? You don't care about something anymore and it comes to you.
Just like getting laid.
That didn't happen to me.
You still care.
There's also this book. Not to be a nerd and recommend
what is up with you and books today?
No, well, you mentioned that there's this book called The War of Art.
Yeah.
And it talks about when you this thing called resistance. It's not it seems like a self-help like guru, but it's really not.
It's not funny at all.
No, it's not.
but it's also not like too much woo-woo, right?
No, definitely not.
It's a little woo-woo.
I don't think so.
It's a tiny bit of woo-woo.
The guy just basically
that much woo-woo.
He personifies that much woo. He personifies.
It is a woo and a half.
I think it's
woo.
More. No, it's more.
No, that's Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair. Tiny Ric Flair.
Tiny Ric Flair.
Shrunken Ric Flair.
Yeah, he's right there on the table.
No, he basically personifies like what he calls resistance. Anything that keeps you from doing work, right? And he makes it basically this thing is at war with you at all times, and it'll put doubt in your brain, and it'll make you lazy. It'll make give you reasons not to do the thing, and you just got to constantly have to be a battle with that if you are truly invested in what you're doing. Yeah, and like he gives examples about like people that emulate or copy somebody else. They take the lazy way out, are basically like they bow to the church of conformity, whereas like what you should do is break down the walls and become something new. That's what real art is breaking barriers, right?
I don't know. I am fucking retarded.
Oh, okay.
We see that a lot. Yeah, we see that a lot in comedy.
And he also says, if you get a chance, steal the heater and then put a piece
Steal
of
the heater.
clean
Oh,
toilet
one
paper.
square sheet drives anybody crazy.
It will change your life. No, it's a really good book though. I
yeah.
recommend that as well to anybody that
It's excellent.
that has doubt about what they're doing, and
Yeah,
whatever.
you
I
do
don't know.
get imposter syndrome. I think I've heard like Joe Rogan and a lot of
Yeah.
people talk about that, where he's like, I start hanging out with these people, and I'm like, I shouldn't be here. And then eventually you get comfortable.
Yeah,
Everybody who's anybody has had imposter syndrome longer than they'll usually admit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anything I've ever been really good at, which is maybe 3 things.
But the thing
I've had
is-
imposter syndrome at every bit of it until I realized I have literally faked it until I made it.
Till you make it?
I did say that, and I'm sticking with it.
It rhymes.
it till you make
Yeah,
it.
it's like, okay, I started at something, I sucked, I
What
was
do you want, the
faking it.
Little Rascals?
Yes. My hair fell all the way down my face. I used to look like alfalfa. We've talked about this. I have alopecia. I will slap you. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth. You bitch.
Faked it
I'm
till you
sorry.
make it.
It's the last Will Smith joke I'm making, but
I'm not. I'm
look,
never.
and I realized one day I was really good at something that I thought had been an imposter at for years. And it was all of a sudden people were asking me questions about it. I had become someone that was a reference point. This is going to be you this time next year. You
Or
are
tomorrow.
You're meteoric. Like if they're not already doing it, they will be. You're on the right shows. The right people are noticing you. You have fucking skill out the ass.
and
It's
you're
going to work.
and you're a spy, an espionage.
Yeah, you fuck with the
master.
French like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of a refund are you going to give me if this doesn't happen?
I will give you any 2 of the swords I see in this room. They will be yours.
Oh shit, you got swords in that room?
I got tons of swords in this fucking room.
2, 3,
Oh my
4,
god, why have
5.
we not been talking about that the whole time?
Are you
Jeez.
kidding me? Did you hear that fucking story you told us? We got swords here all the time. I ain't hear this.
You should hang some of them behind you, man.
There's
Well,
a knife. I just found this knife laying around
oh,
here.
you ain't special. I got a knife right here.
Oh hell yeah.
There's knives and kinds of shit around here.
I know. These are not one of them are mine, but
No. All these swords are mine.
yeah.
Oh, I
It's
got
I want to
battle
be.
axe.
I just want to be well known enough to where people send me handmade knives as gifts, because
Hey.
that is like cool.
That can happen.
Yeah, yeah.
I know a guy.
Send me
well, I don't
all
really
your
know, but
knives.
What's his name? Amon Forge.
Yeah.
That guy makes good stuff.
Yeah, we know people.
I mean, I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah,
he'll
that-
send you a free knife, but he makes
Look,
really good stuff.
I'm gonna start forging. I'm sending her a knife, a big Bowie knife.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Arkansas
once,
toothpick.
when I make the big break, send me the sword.
Yes. It's a double sword set. It's Damascus steel swords. They're katanas, 2 identical ones. I'm
Oh
looking
my
at them right
God.
now.
Is it
Oh my
Damascus because
God.
you're a dumbass?
I'm a dumbass cuss. That's right.
That's good. So, yeah, we've ran over.
We talk too much. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. So where can people find you? You're at Felicia Gillespie.
Yeah. So
Everywhere, right?
if you go to FeliciaComedy.com, all of my stuff is there, and all my handles are usually at a Felicia World. I don't know. I've debated changing my name, but I try to keep it as simple as possible. But if you go to FeliciaComedy.com, everything's there, and
We'll throw all
definitely
that out too.
hell yeah, definitely everybody hit me up, because I do tour nationally. So wherever you live, I might be coming to your city. And then if you want to just hit me up anyway, go ahead. What's stopping you? So
If you've got a gig in New York
Unless
City,
the police say don't do it.
yeah,
Because that's cyber stalking now by New York laws. If
Yeah.
they try to contact you. So
yeah. Well, I just thought of another question. Sorry, you mentioned Stanhope as being somebody you'd want to work with, or you wanted to work with. Who's another person that you haven't worked with that you want to? That like at the top of the list.
usually,
Richard Pryor.
Oh,
yeah.
it'd be great. He's not doing much.
Usually, I would like to meet or do something with Louis C.K.
Oh my God! Did you hear about him?
Yeah, he's selling his own special.
he won an Oscar.
He's got his own network.
I mean, he won
an Emmy.
an Emmy, really? Or no?
Yeah. Is
Wait
it?
a minute.
Yeah.
What happened with Louis?
I don't know.
Award-winning artist. I got nothing past that.
Oh my God! Did you? He ran his boat ashore one time.
He did do that.
That's all I know about him.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I don't see that happening. But it's just pulling a name out. It's in the back of my head. Usually what happens is somebody will start to stick. and then I go down these rabbit holes, and I'm a little bit of an obsessive person. So I just learn everything I can about somebody, and I absorb, and I, if it gets to that point where I'm like, I want to work with this person.
Yeah.
I have thought about, I want to do Doug Loves Movies. I don't know how to get in touch with Doug Benson or what, but I would love to do that
Gotta
podcast.
just,
One word, weed.
Weed, yeah.
Weed.
Send
Just
up the weed
yeah.
signal.
Look,
Smoke signals.
you know Stanhope, you by proxy know Doug Benson somewhere down there. It's 6 degrees.
Yeah.
Or less.
I don't know. I think that
3 bongs separation.
very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Louis C.K. would be awesome. I'm glad that he's starting to do more.
Well,
Starting to get back
he's
on.
a Jew. It's okay. He's gonna make it.
Louis
He's gonna be
C.K.
fine. Yeah.
He's Jewish?
Yeah, he's Mexican Jew.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know he was Jewish.
I know
Mexican redheaded Jew.
I know he's Mexican.
Wow.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I know he's supportive of like the younger comics who are coming up and stuff like that.
For
so.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't see myself in a situation where he would ever see me perform, because
You're just doing it on purpose now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not past at the cellar yet or anything. I don't have a cellar audition or anything, but maybe when stuff like that starts to happen. I'm slowly working my way through the New York clubs and getting into each one, so that's fun.
Keep at it. Be a juggernaut. You got this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate your kind words. You guys are very kind and supportive, and that makes me feel good being homeless. It's good to hear that stuff.
You're
and
the most charming homeless person that we've interviewed in quite a while on here.
New York City, no French people, but if you have a room, you have got somewhere.
Yeah,
we're up to because
I got money. I'm looking for a room.
Yeah,
she'll leave town.
Got the money. She'll leave town on your ass.
She's leaving town this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know when this comes out. Does it come out like a week later or something like that?
No, we can do it. I'll put it out this weekend, or maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomorrow. No, I can't do it tomorrow. Saturday maybe.
I'm working with Louis Katz, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. That'd be cool to meet him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's good. He's
I
awesome.
used to be an Emo Phillips fan. I don't know. I mean, I still am, but he was like the magic for me. Emo was like somebody where I was just like, oh my God, if I could write half as good as him, I would feel like I would be a genius. And I've met him like 4 times. He's such a sweet person.
He seems like it. Yeah.
Only emo can do emo material.
Like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's got it cornered.
Is he still married to Judy Tenuta or no?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Anyway, yeah. When I met him, I told him that. I was like, oh my God, I love your writing. It's amazing. And I was like 19. I started when I was 18. I was 19 or I was 20. And he was like, how old are you? And I was like 20. And he goes, I started when I was 20. And he goes, there's no secret. You just work hard. He's like, yeah, I'm not special. And I'm like, yeah, you are. You're special.
He is special.
Some people have that unique thing from the get-go, and it's just like maybe they get better at it, but like nobody's going to be able to do that. They were the first there,
right?
It's like I always think of Dave Attell with his cadence. Like so many people have ripped off Dave Attell's cadence,
whether they know what they did,
and of course they can't match that joke writing, but like everybody emulates that, especially when they're like on tour with them. You hear it later on.
Well, now that you mention Attell, like he is somebody I would love to work with. I would love to watch him. I've seen him once in person ever, and it was magic. I mean, it was the best comedy show I've ever seen. I could not believe it. He ripped that room apart, and I was like, oh my God, I had no clue because I've only seen him on TV. It's funny on TV, but you've got to see him live.
He's one of maybe the most underrated comic of all time.
And he's still,
and I think, and in my opinion, he's in the top of the top. Like he's just amazing. Yeah.
I'm looking to see Felicia take over the entire Gilbert Gottfried spot.
Oh,
she's definitely going to, rile all that back up because, I think Gilbert would appreciate.
Hey, I got a question. You're the French lady.
Yeah.
Where was she yesterday? Was she in the subway?
Oh shit.
I'm just saying I don't want to start conspiracies, but maybe she's covering up for
stay out of the subway for a little while. We don't usually
ever since when I moved to Florida or went to Florida, it was bad. It's gotten better, the safety in New York, but I was living in the Upper West Side, and it was like, that's one of the nicest neighborhoods, and it was not safe. I had to physically run to my front door one morning, and because some guy was following me, and I've never had to do that ever in my life. And I'm just like, ugh. But now that I'm back, it does feel, it feels safer, but I'm definitely staying off the subways as much as I can.
Yeah, watch out for the landlords too.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're the worst. All right. We'll let you go. Felicia Gillespie, come back and do it again.
Yeah,
it
has been a true delight. Seriously.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome podcast.
Anytime.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day.
See you soon.
Later.
Bye.